Okay, what is good? So, coming into market open, I'm doing this a little bit early. It's only 2 o'clock, so we've still got half an hour till market open. We just had CPI half an hour ago, and obviously, as you can see, it made, pretty decent move. It added some volatility to the market, but not necessarily anything like that I would consider really good in terms of that's going to help us with confluence. I'll just be looking for a normal expectation. Now, this is what we did do. This was before news even came out, though. And I suppose this can be good. I know we wicked on news. Even on the 5 minute, we wicked quite a lot because we took out London highs, and London highs had just taken out Asia highs. Now, let's go through the first bit. Let's go through daily bias. So, look, we came up, 4 hour was bearish, and then we came up and broke structure back up bullish. So, we're now bullish on everything, right? I'm pretty sure that's on all time frames. Let's have a look. On NQ, yeah, so we're bullish on major high time frame. 30 minute looks like it broke structure down, but again, I'm not too worried about that. I'm more my intraday bias is easily looking for a pullback and an extension out. Now, this is where it gets a bit more kind of interesting. So as we can see, we've come out and taken out more all-time highs again. On NQ we also are, so we're now at all-time highs. Now, usually people treat the market where they get scared and they think, oh, market's overbought, it's too high. But generally speaking, if the market's like pushing all-time highs, it's more than likely going to continue further and create new highs, because look, what has it been doing for the last 2 weeks? Like, I know we only just took out all-time highs there, but look, we're pushing up, we're pushing up, we're pushing up. We're getting small retraces. Look, for me now, look, we've had a bit of an accumulation area. Now we might want to break past this and now we might want to make the next few days of legs up. Especially because we got a lot of volatility this week with news. So CPI came out today, it's PPI tomorrow. And then I'm not too sure. Is it unemployment claims on Thursday? But again, I'm not too worried about that. I even think it'll tell me here. Yeah, PPI, and then that's Thursday, retail sales. Yeah, unemployment claims, that looks like. So, yeah, I'm super bullish. Now, what is good about this, because look, we didn't break structure to the downside, but we really wicked on this before we got news. So, as New York pre-market opened, we broke structure on the 30-minute down. But if you take a look here, we swept London lows on ES, but on NQ, we didn't. So we formed a high time frame SMT based on hourly lows, and also which are also coinciding with London lows. So we've got a super good bullish confluence here for NQ. So now what I'm going to be looking for on market open, I mean, it would be cool if we could come back down and sweep pre-market lows on ES, because now we have these. Can mark that out now. So because we have these, I mean, I can get rid of the London lows because they've already been swept, but pre-market lows, if we could come down and sweep them again on ES but not on NQ and form a secondary SMT, I will be looking for longs all day. I'll be happy to enter on the 1 minute. I'll be full risk. However, the other things we could see is we've got 5-minute lows here. So for me, because we've already formed the high time frame SMT, we might just get a continuation model today. We couldn't. Well, we don't know what to expect. We've still got 25 minutes. So for me, I'm gonna mark out these pre-market lows. Now, it would be nice if we could get the SMT based on that. Now, let's say, for instance, 1 second. Let me just mark this out. Let's say, for instance, we take out lows on NQ and we came and took out pre-market lows. That's absolutely fine. But then what I would then be looking for is for ES to have the SMT divergence, because that would mean then both would have swept London lows, right? Well, maybe not necessarily, but we might still come down and sweep. So if we sweep London lows from NQ, I'm going to look for ES to not sweep pre-market lows and create an SMT, and then I would be looking for ES longs on market open, because that's the important one. So again, that's kind of what I'm looking for. I mean, we've already got equal highs here, relative equal highs, and ES hasn't. So it's like we've got some good confluences to target on NQ. So like if we came down here, just as a thing, 1 minute breaker structure continuation model, and like say our lows down here, you would target that for like a 1 to 3. So that would be pretty good. But again, we might get a continuation model, or even if we don't, I'm happy to see, as you can see, we've got 5 minute lows here. So I would be happy for those to get taken out and form an SMT based on that. Because we've already done the main SMT. We've done the London low SMT. So realistically, price doesn't need to come back down there and warrant that. So if we can get the 5 minute lows swept, I would be happy to look for that and then look for longs upon that. As long as we get an I would need to see the SMT though. I'm not just looking for a sweep of 5 minute lows, and then because we could want to come down further and do another sweep of London lows on NQ. So yeah, we've got to be super careful with that, and that's why I want the SMT divergence, because that gives a really good confluence towards that. So super simple day. You know, I'm looking forward to it. We'll see what market gives, but yeah, no rush, man. I mean, I don't think there's any 4-hour fair value gaps. No, because look, we really made moves in Asia session. Now, what I want to go back over is I did delete all my drawings, but I'm trying to think where my entry model. I had an entry model yesterday, where I'm trying to find it now. It was here, wasn't it? Because there was an SMT here. Yes, of course, I remember now. Look, we had that 5 minute breaker structure down. But so this was my setup. I absolutely remember this now. So we came down. We made an SMT off these lows based on NQ. NQ swept them. ES didn't. So ES, we broke structure to the upside, and then we broke structure back down. But then we hit this inverse fair value gap, crossed over with a normal fair value gap, but it was also the last line of defense. And then we broke structure back up to the upside. Then we hit equilibrium, without breaking structure back down, and we maintained bullish order flow in the 1 minute, and then we came and pushed back out of those equilibrium and order block zones. So that was my entry, and it was based on these lows here, I'm pretty sure. And then we targeted, 1 second, we targeted these highs, was it? I'm pretty sure, or was it some other external? I'm pretty sure my risk reward was better than that. It was like a 1 to 3, so I must have got a better entry, or maybe tying my stop loss somewhere. Was it like, did I just do it under the lows of the second break of structure, I think? Yeah, I think it was more like that. It was more like that, but then for a 1 to 3. And then look overnight. I mean, I can't hold trades overnight on Top Step, and it's so much money holding trades on FTMO. It's like a 99 pound per lot swap rate on longs on FTMO, and when I'm using like 100 lots for a trade, or I'm using at least like 100 usually, so it's generally more. But you think 100 lots, 99 swap, you're literally losing your trade. It's not worth it. So yeah, but we came and pushed up even further. So yeah, it was a good bias, a decent trade. We did, as soon as we hit take profit though, we were just lagging overnight, because obviously probably anticipating news. But then during the middle of Asia session, I don't know if there's any external news that happened overnight in the US, because that would have been like late in the evening. That would have been about between like 8 and midnight in the US. So yeah, I don't know what went on there, but huge push up, push back down, and then again just slowly pushing up, and then we just started chopping through London, anticipating that CPI data. Now CPI happened, and look, we had a big push up, swept highs. Now I think this is going to be traps for shorts, because we're bullish. Like, why wouldn't you trade the predominant trend? So we sweep up. I bet I can find a short position off this. Look, we haven't even inversed this huge 1 minute gap that was created. But yeah, you could easily have shorted like this here, like here, 1 minute breaker structure. Technically an order block entry, reaction, maybe not right above the top high, but yeah, you would, if you wanted to target like Asia lows, look, 1 to 2 point. Yeah, you could take that, but again, like I said, I don't trade against the trend. I know people who do. I know people who trade against bias and look for reversals, and that honestly, I just don't agree with it. I think it's dumb, because why would you try and keep guessing reversals when you can trade with the trend that is more than likely going to continue that trend, and it's like free money. You're just printing money there. It's such an easy way to make money. You could literally, because I went through this on another video, market reacts off fair value. So we can see even here, overnight, on from my entry last night, look, we've created a fair value gap here upon my entry, which would have won, but I didn't take. Fair value gap created. What did we do? We came down, we reacted, we came back up. You could literally just trade in fair values. You could literally have entries on every single fair value, and you will probably win. Because let's take a look at this, right? Let's say you literally just wait for it to tap as your entry, and then you put your stop loss just right underneath it, right? And then you can just target external highs. Look, 1 to 2.7 there. And same with shorts. Look, I mean, we had an inverse fair value gap crossed over with an normal fair value gap. Look, if you just wait for the tap in, right there, look at that. And then if you want to target external drop, like look, you could have targeted that as a first 1 to 3 risk reward, and that's like that's not even being generous. That's like you ideal draw on liquidity. Look, you have this low here, 1 to 4. You even have these lows here, 1 to 5, and then you even have here. Look, 1 to 7. I mean, it didn't hit that, but we hit most of the draws there that you have. So yeah, market, I mean, I wouldn't take that because it doesn't go with the trend. But even when we were looking in the trend, look, again, you wait for this. Obviously, you would have to take this on a swing account, not on a... But this is on the 4-hour time frame. But this works on every time frame. So look, if you just waited for the tap in, you just wait for that. You just set your limit order and you go and chill out. Look, like him, like 1 to 8 risk rewards. I mean, you could have just targeted previous all-time highs. Do you know what I mean? Like, here you go there. So 1 to 5.81 risk reward, bro. It's such an easy way to view the market. So because we're reacting these fair values, you can bet that when we keep going up, we're just going to keep pulling back, hitting fair value gaps, and going back up again. Look, we didn't hit this one here, but look, we hit the next one and we reacted, and then we came back up again. If we're bullish and we want to go, I mean, you would have got entered straight away there, and you would have been holding it for some time. But look, here we go, just underneath the fair value gap again. You want to target previous all-time highs. Okay, here you go. Bro, that's crazy. 1 to 9 risk reward just based on fair. Bro, I need to get a swing account, because honestly, this works. It just works. You can take so many swing trades. Now, I would stick to the 4-hour personally, but we can drop down to the 1 hour. You can easily, because look, the more you go down, like the choppier it will get in a shorter time frame, obviously. But again, you could... Oh, this would have worked on NQ, because this was one of my confluences yesterday, because we had this 1 hour... 1 hour fair value gap. Look, you want to... I mean, we might have got stopped out on this if you wanted to put your stop below the fair value gap. I would just usually put it at the bottom of the candle, if that makes sense. So where the candle opening price was there. So look, that was extremely close. Now, yeah, it could have got stopped out. It might not have, but it's just one of those things. Because look, we even got some profit before wicking down. So maybe you would have put stop loss at break even, things like that. But if we do that and we just target these external highs here, look, 1 to 6 risk reward, bro. This works. Why? I'm questioning myself. Why don't more people just work like this in fair values? It's so easy to do, and people ignore it. They don't do this. They go, I want to try and catch a reversal. I want to. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just find it like, I don't know. But yeah, here you go. You could just hit. You could just go for a fixed 1 to 2 if there's no external, if we're at all-time highs. But even then, look, this thing just keeps climbing and climbing. This is why it just works. And this is the reason I'm using these examples, is because it helps with bias in showing that the market just keeps going. Look here, when we had the bearish back when we started falling due to the tariff stuff, look, we came down. Okay, we didn't hit any fair value gaps here. Oh, but there we did on the first one. Okay, I mean, if you entered there and you put it in the candle, you would still be in that because you put it at the candle opening price of the 4 hour. And look at that, bro. And then all these really, this huge draw on liquidity, which is what price mainly took. 1 to 10 risk reward, bro. Why aren't people doing this? Okay, you would have had to hold it from from February. Oh, this is the daily. Why am I on the daily? I thought I was on the one. I swear I was on the 1 hour, bro. But even on the daily, again, perfect example. Okay, you hold it from 28th of Feb to the 4th of April. So just over a month. But if you risk 1% of your account and you're confident in this setup, you made 10%. So you've still made 10% in a month, where an intraday trader like myself might make 8 to 12% in a month too. But that's what it's about. I mean, bro, I might get a swing account and start trading this model, because this is like top stuff. But again, let's go on to the 4 hour when market started dropping overall. Okay, look at this. Fair value gap. Put your stop loss at the candle opening price. There we go. What can we target? Draw on liquidity here, 1 to 2.76. Draw on liquidity here, 1 to 3.3. And 1 to 3.6. Okay. You want to hold it for longer? Sure. There you go. 1 to 4, 1 to 4.8, 1 to 5, 1 to 6, 1 to 9. Bro. And again, if you wanted to really hold it until that main draw on liquidity, 1 to 12. But why? I don't know why more people aren't. And that's the thing. You follow the predominant trend, because look, we broke structure here and we failed to make new highs. So, and then we made a big move down, and then this is where you could then argue, look, there's one here as well. You could have technically entered this, would have got stopped out, but that's part of the game. You're not going to win every single trade. But then when we start coming down and making moves, there's so many opportunities here. Okay, maybe not every day, but there's so many opportunities. Okay, another losing one, but who cares? Okay, another losing one, but again, you don't have to take every single trade. There would be more to this trading. Again, if you're risking just 1%, don't forget you're only losing 1% on these trades, but then look at the gains you're doing from them. Because look, they 1 to 12, even on a late trade, on a technically late trade. Look at that, bro. You just 6th of March to the another month. But if you kept stacking these leveraged trades on top of one another across different accounts, bro, you're winning. You're winning. Who doesn't want that? But anyway, let's get back to topic, because I feel like we've gone off track majorly. But my point is, look, we've gone up, we've made little retraces, we've come back up, and now we're coming back up again. The likeliness that we now have a big leg up is more likely than we have a reversal. And that's why you're putting probability in your favour. You don't want to be trading against the trend. It's, like I said, I think it's such a dumb thing to do. People do it. It happens, but I just think it's people need to trade with the trend, and you will have a lot more success. That's all I can say. Because look, even here in the 5 minute, I mean, we're not in within session times, but oh, look at that candle close. What can we target? That external high. That's a 1 to 2.57, bro. This thing works. I mean, yeah, you would want to be more focused with your risk and stuff, bro. This mic's the stand for this mic. The mic's good, but the stand for it is like falling apart. So this will just like in a second. But yeah, we're just gonna wait for market to open. I'm gonna stop recording now. I'm gonna go get myself a drink and just chill out on market open. I might not even start recording again until macro. I don't see the point, but yeah, we'll see. Like I said, I'm going to be looking for at least a 5 minute lows to get taken out with an SMT formed, and that is good for entry with a positive reaction. However, if we come down and take out these pre-market lows, I'm totally okay with that. But again, I would like to see an S&T formed either way. I don't like trading off just liquidity sweeps, so the S&T is a really, really good positive confluence, because I've seen price sweep before, retrace slightly, and then just sweep again. So I think the S&T divergence, and especially when you take the lagging index that isn't sweeping, it just gives so much better confluence for this for your bias. So yeah, we'll get into market open when it opens. But yeah, I might even do a little series, maybe just do a swing account and just go challenge, just hold these, do you know what I mean, just set trades and just prove that it works, because it works. It's not something I would trade, but maybe long term, if I had like my own account without any restrictions, and I could have like, oh, there we go, it happened, where I didn't have any restrictions, and I can have like 1 to 1,000 leverage, so I can take multiple trades at once, just risking 1%. But yeah, it's risk management, man. If you're only risking 1% of trading and you're gaining 3, 4, 5, maybe even 10% on some really good days, it's gonna average out, and you're gonna win a lot more than you lose. So yeah, I'll see you guys soon, and we'll catch up with this. So it looks like I came back right on cue. I've also changed the mic because it kept falling, so maybe if it's dangling it might stay in place. But market's moving down. We took out pre-market highs, SMT on that as well, but we're moving down. So yeah, it would be real good. See, ES is moving much slower, but it would be really good if ES, because it's already lower down, it started to move and it took out these pre-market lows, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Seems like NQ's really catching up on that, so it doesn't matter how it works. As long as we get that SMT, I'm totally okay with that. Let me see if there was an SMT based on this 4-hour fair value gap. MNQ filled it. Oh, they both filled it. So let's check if there's any hourly fair value gaps that we might have as confluence. Okay. Did we make? Okay, right. That's great. We've got an hourly fair value gap here as well. So if I just mark that out, have we got a similar thing going on ES here? We do, but it's already been filled, so that's already another bullish confluence for NQ. So we've had the London lows SMT, which NQ didn't take out, but ES did. And then we also have ES filling this hourly fair value gap where NQ didn't. So I'm super pleased about that. I'll still mark it out. I think it's worth having it there. Let's just make sure we know. So yeah, I'm just hoping. Wait, where's my MNQ gone? Let's try again. So we took out the 5-minute lows on both, which is not good enough for me. So I'm going to need to see some of these taken out. Or I'm more than happy if we then came back up, but then we came and made an S&T off the low that's currently being made, if the one is made. But yeah, it's a super rainy day today. It was warm it was literally double the degrees yesterday than it is right now. 24 hours ago it was like double. But yeah, no, I love the rain. I love cold weather. really just keeps me calm, keeps me focused. I really like it. So yeah, we've had a 5 minute break of structure now. Getting the displacement candle, which is, I guess, cool. I don't know, which might mean if we displace on NQ, ES might want to push down a bit more and then make an SMT off the lows, which is totally fine by me. Let's check TikTok. Let's see how my TikTok's doing, because I've been working at this now for quite a... That's cool. I just made a new account to post like actual me content, and my first post has got already 100 likes with only 500 views, which is a super good like to view ratio. So I'm pleased about that, which is good. Let's go to my aesthetics page, which is all AI, by the way, content. I'm now at 3,650 followers. I was only at like 2,000 literally a week ago, which is insane considering I was at around 3 weeks ago now. I was at 10 followers. So yeah, I'm super pleased with the progression on this page. But yeah, the main thing is just like keep uploading. Like, if anyone else is doing anything similar, you've just got to keep uploading, just keep doing it. Look at what works, because I look at the specific content that goes viral, all that works, and even like the visuals, the colours and everything, I look at all that and go, what's working? And I will test that again in another similar format, but something different. And again, if that works, I'll know, okay, this is my niche, this is what I need to focus on. And it's dead easy as well. You literally get AI to do, I mean, don't get me wrong, I have to do the prompts and stuff, but like AI is still doing most of it for me. So okay, we're getting a nice push down now. Getting back to business. Might come out and take out these pre-market lows. ES is showing more bullish sentiment. Sorry, NQ is showing more bullish sentiment. ES is showing much more bearish. We're closing towards these pre-market lows. Honestly, if we can get this if we can get this SMT longs, bro, I'm confident we'll if we won the trade, we would pass phase 1 today. We would also be one small trade win off passing the top step, and then I would probably also get my my live account, my 10k FTMO live account, near to break even, maybe pass it. It depends on the risk reward and etc. But we would get that, and then we would also get really good on the other 70k challenge I have. We would probably get that close to break even, which is also in phase 1. So yeah, we'll just have to see, bro. We've got to see what we've got to see to enter a trade. I'm not entering if it's not a good setup. Now we are coming down now. Okay, so we've took out the lows. I think we've tagged it. Okay, equal lows currently. I'll double check that. Never mind, there's no need to. Now we're getting long setups here, which obviously is good. So now what I can look for is these other confluences. So I'm not marking out age lows. It's really not coming down here unless we want to really shift market structure. But we have another hour fair value gap here, which we've just tagged, which can still trigger an SMT. SMTs aren't just only used on liquidity. They can be used on fair value gaps, order blocks, basically all your confluences that you use. You can also the SMTs can also happen within them. So this is tagged that. Let's check NQ out. See, we haven't on NQ checked out this. So again, we're still seeing more bullish sentiment from NQ than we are and we're still in 5 minute or 15 minute bullish order flow. Sorry. Let's check it. Yeah, dead quick. So here we might break 15-minute breaker structure. Maybe we'll just have to see how price reacts off this pre-market lows. But yeah, I'm not at all nervous. We've got plenty to go at, so my main thing now would be that we get the reactions off this, and macro is also opening in 8 minutes. That's when we'll be looking to enter a trade, and it looks super good right now. There is tiny little inverse gap here, but bro, I'd just wait for a breaker structure and all that good stuff. I've just had to put my phone on charge as well. I don't know what you guys are like, but when I use my phone, I will literally only charge it when it's at like 1% battery. I don't charge it like when it's at the middle. It's just always something I've done. But then when I'm like about to trade, I look and I'm like 5% battery, and I'm like, okay. But yeah, good reactions here. Again, if we can maintain this bullish, are we even in bullish order flow? No, we're already in bearish order flow on the 15-minute on ES. Oh, and okay, no, we broke structure back up on NQ. So yeah, we're already in bearish order flow, but it would be cool if we closed above this. But again, I'm not even looking at ES. NQ is the one I will be trading if I take a trade today. And we've got PPI tomorrow, so it's not exactly like there isn't much volatility else for the week. We've got plenty to go at, so just gotta wait, man. Oh, right, okay. No, I do have a wireless phone charger at my desk, but it's so slow. Because I was thinking of just plugging my charger in here and I just have my phone then. But bro, you've got to be so focused with this. I mean, I've started recording these. I mean, yeah, I do actually watch the people I learn off, and even some other traders. I'll still look, but like I really don't care anymore, because what I did was I unfollowed them or deleted the socials I followed them on, because not only was I just deleting the socials, it helps stop drawing comparison to their lives, because like they're like 2 years ahead of me, and then when you see them having 100k 200k months, and you're like, it can be so mentally draining, because you want those results, but then you want them now because they have them now, but they've been doing it longer, and it's unfair to put that pressure on yourself. And so that's why I literally just delete them, bro. Unfollow them for a little while, and then just literally just so focus on your thing. And like, I've been live recording these, because right now I would probably be on Insta. If I wasn't doing this, I'd be like on Instagram, you know, seeing what other people are trading. I might come across a TikTok live of someone doing that, and then I'm like, oh yeah, you've got, you know, so much. But here we go, let's have a look. So we've got a 1 minute breaker structure now. We're still not in macro yet, so we've also got a 5 minute inverse there, which you could take a valid setup of. But like I said, I'm more or less looking to get this continuation trade. I don't know what the risk reward will be like, because it's quite, look at that, bro, that's so big. But then again, it depends where we're targeting. So for me, I would be targeting 300 as my like first area, right? But then you've got to see how much did we move overnight, right? If we move this much in Asia, right, 183, right? Let's move that here. even from my entry point, we could move that much again, so like to 400. So if I put that to like 400, 1 to 3. I mean, I only need to hit a 1 to 2 RR on the 70k, but it's like how it's just like, does it make sense? It makes sense in my head. Just yeah, I only need to make 1 to 2 RR on my 70k to pass the first phase, because I'll be risking 2%. On these accounts I'll have a bit more. I mean, regardless, even on the top step account, even if I want to trade and it was like 1 to 1.5, I'd have to win another 1 to 1.5 risk reward. Because if I won 1500 on this, that's like, what? I don't even know, but 1,400, 200, so I'd still need like 1,800-ish to pass. So yeah, I'd still need to hit like a 1 to 2 RR, so, I mean, look, we're coming down again. We might be making more SMTs. Yes, we are. Took out more lows. But I'm super happy for this to happen. We got a 1 minute break of... Excuse me. Oh, we didn't get a 1 minute break of structure, but it was like right on point. So... yeah. Just gotta wait for that entry. But because we've got a second SMT now, on these lows, if I was going to take a trade, you'd obviously put them under these lows, so then I don't need my SMT lows here now. I can put my stop loss at these lows, which will significantly help risk reward ratio. So we've now got to, but we have to get the good reaction. We have to get a 1 minute. Like, I basically just need a 1 minute fair value gap continuation, because we're already in bullish order flow. We didn't break structure on the 1 minute to the downside. I can even check normal NQ and see what we did. Okay, we broke structure on normal NQ. So I actually do need to see a break of structure now, and then a fair value gap continue. Well, not, maybe not even a fair value gap. I'm happy with equilibrium. I also need to remember I need to trade on NQ rather than micros. But yeah, I mean, to be fair, if I just drop to NQ now, because it's going to be easier to chart this on the 1 minute looking for an actual entry. We're 1 minute from macro, so I'm officially ready to enter. And an entry looks super close if we're going to get one. Ooh. If we get one. It's coming down, so. I'm just going to show you guys what I'm kind of looking for. So, break of structure up, right? Fair value gap. And then a tap back into this fair value gap. And then a bullish sentiment out of it. And that would be my entry, right? I mean, bro, it's still about the same risk reward as last time, but hopefully it works in our favour. Hopefully we get better. Like I said, I only need bullish sentiment. When continuation, it only needs to be a bullish candle out of that zone. It doesn't have to break the new high, but if it's clean, the reaction, then I'm happy to just trade that. But if it's not, then yeah. What's happening with ES though, bro? So still got that SMT, which is great. Yeah, it's a bit of a sloppy break of structure, that. It's just a choppy break of structure. It's not. Look at that, bro. That's awful. And I need to remember to get my phone, because I'll totally forget to enter on it. 100%. I mean, look, I've got another hour and 10 minutes. I mean, my actual trading window is just open, so there's no rush. Like, we have to see good price action. Again, don't forget, I think we just... Oh, we didn't hit the fair value gap. I thought we did. I thought we hit this 5 minute fair value gap, but we hit a 5 minute inverse, I think. Yeah, we did. This is not an entry. Because look, technically speaking, right, we got the breaker structure. So you could easily look at this. You could equally say we hit equilibrium, which we did. And we also hit this order block. But that's what I mean, price action. This is such rubbish price action. Yeah, we hit equilibrium, we hit after the breaker structure, we hit this order block here, this singular candle. But bro, this is not good. Because technically that's an entry. I'm not gonna lie, that isn't like, mechanically speaking, if I was to follow my setups mechanically, this would be a setup right here. And look at that. That's all you need to target. And then even if I wanted to target my original take profit, which was 2300, look at that. But again, I'm not trading that price action, and it's probably going to prove me why. Okay, so it looks like we're getting another SMT, but off these 1 minute lows. Look, so these lows here, NQ's about to take out, maybe. But ES isn't. Like I said, this is mechanically a valid entry, but it's so dumb to trade it. And I bet people took that. I bet some trader who's just learnt this strategy, because I obviously learnt off TJR, so other people have seen this and they'll go, yeah, that's a valid entry. Or they'll even have seen this, they'll even gone, oh, look at this breaker structure, order block, push out of it, because yeah, that's technically right. Look, we have this order block right here, and then you could easily have just gone candle push out, even that as an entry. Not for me, bro, not for me. But we took out, did we take out all the lows here? Yeah, so we just tagged it, and then if we look at ES did not, because look, these lows, look, if we look here, 447, and then, oh, wrong thing, and again 447, so we tagged them, so we've got a second SMT now, but this is a 1 minute SMT, so I'm still going to be looking for NQ entries, but it's still a good SMT to go off. And ES didn't break structure back to the downside where NQ did. But again, this is 1 minute noise, so I'm not too worried about noise. I mean, we didn't even get stopped out of this live test, but again, such a stupid trade if anyone trades this shit. Like I said, bro, clean breaker structure now with a gap formed and a fill and a reaction, and I'll enter. But we've got to see that. Just gotta watch price, bro. Just keep watching it. SMTs everywhere, bro. I'm tired. All we can do is wait. I'm kind of tired. Do you know what? I'm gonna stop recording. I'm just gonna wait because we could just chop and chop and chop, and I would rather save the trade for, like, if we break structure up at some point and we see a fair value gap form, I'll start recording again. But I don't want to just sit here silently and watch price because it wastes time within the video, and I want to try and condense these videos right down so they're much easier to follow. And because I'm not going to watch back like a 1 to 2 hour video, which is what they are right now. I need it to be like 20-30 minutes if I can. But yeah, I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I'm actually back a lot sooner than I thought because look, we actually inversed both these hourly fair value gaps. We broke structure to the downside on ES. However, on NQ, we just took out the lows again. Never mind. But we failed to break structure on the 1 hour on NQ. We stayed with bullish sentiment. Same on the 30-minute. No break of structure on the 30-minute because we had to close below this pre-market low, which we didn't. So no break of structure. And then 15-minute, no break of structure. Only the 5-minute. Now we have just taken out these lows again. We haven't hit this hourly fair value gap the same way ES has. So we've just took out the lows again from market open. So it looks like this could be a seek and destroy. But if we take a look, I just want to go back to ES real quick. We've just took out the lows from market open because look, I marked them out. We took them out, and I wasn't initially when we did on ES. We hadn't on NQ, but now we have. So there's no SMT there, but we have an SMT off the 1 hour fair value gap. And yeah, just waiting, bro. I've got an hour, so we'll just have to see. It has to be a clean price action. If there's no clean price action, there's no trade. And not only that, market might just want to come down because we have had, I mean, to be fair, look, we have had quite a big push up over the last couple of days now, including today. So yesterday and today had quite a big push up. Look, from Monday, Asia, the price opening gap, boom, up. Yeah, we retraced into a 4 hour fair value gap, move up. Now we are within internal liquidity. Now, yeah, we don't have a 4 hour fair value gap, but we are still within 4 hour equilibrium. If we take, I mean, technically you could take this high. So there you go. Now, even if we wanted to take this, we still hit equilibrium. Now on NQ, have we done the same? I don't think we have. So let's take that. That's about accurate. So if we go off those highs, then yes, it has hit equilibrium. But if we use this as the low, no, it hasn't. So there's still a lot of bullish confluence on NQ. We've seen a lot of push down on ES, but not on NQ. Now, yeah, obviously we're coming down, but ES is pushing way harsher and way harder down than. Let's delete this. ES is pushing way further down than NQ is, and that's all that matters. I mean, look, we've just got more lows taken out. I'm gonna keep moving this low onto the next one because this is what actually signals a good a 1 minute SMT. So look, we've just got another SMT on the 1 minute. Now, this is the great thing about it, is that all the SMTs that are forming on the 1 minute, a majority where NQ is the lagging index, which is what we want, and ES is powering through into creating those SMTs. It's sweeping more liquidity, but NQ is sweeping much less. And when we have SMTs form, NQ is mostly the one not following ES with that. So look, we're making moves up now. If we get a break of structure, I just wanted to come on because initially we had that 1 hour that didn't break structure either, which is great for us. We've still got a 1 hour fair value gap that we haven't hit. As I already pointed out, ES did, and it inverted them. So yeah, sure, there's bearish sentiment, but 4 hour is bullish, daily is bullish. Why we go against that? Who goes against that? And like I said, we're within internal liquidity here. So we've hit equilibrium on both pairs, and or created an SMT on equilibrium depending on how you look at it from which low. So yeah, within internal liquidity. So if we're going to go internal to external, what we need to do is we need to see those SMTs form, which is exactly what we're seeing now. We're seeing a push, and then, like I said, look at this. This is brilliant. If we can get fair value gap formed from this, and then a push into the fair value gap, positive reaction from it, we're in. That's what we have to see, though. I'm not just entering on a 1 minute break of structure, because look, we're pushing up. Everyone's going to get scared here. This big push up, so many people are going to jump into longs here without full confirmation, which, you know, maybe they win it, but it's not sustainable long term. If you jump into every 1 minute break of structure, you won't win. But yeah, I'm pretty confident with this. Got my phone charged, so we'll let's see how my stocks are doing, bro, because I barely check them anymore, and I mean they're not doing. That doesn't make sense. What the fuck? How does that make sense? Have these been? What's happened to this? I think one of my shares have been diluted, because maybe not diluted, but the shares have lessened because it's like they've took shares off the market, because this was like 20p a share and now it's $4, which makes 0 sense. Makes absolutely no sense. How does that work, bro? Oh, reverse share split. There you go. To regain compliance with Nasdaq's minimum price rule. There you go. That's why. Right, let's look in. Let's look at this fair value gap. Come on, bro. Tap the fair value gap. This will be a shame if we don't get it, but it is what it is, isn't it? We've got to wait for that confirmation. So, about ES. See, ES is pushing down hard here, which is maybe just the push we need off NQ. Just a little push. Bro. So stupid, bro. Wouldn't surprise me if it just doesn't hit and we just go up, but it's part of the game, innit? Honestly, I'm not even bothered if just one of these, just either NQ or MNQ does it. I need to see it hit. Do you know what? I might as well mark out the fair value gap itself. Would have been perfect, bro. Sometimes we just don't get entries. Nah, bro. Wait, did we hit that? I can't tell. It's one of those things, like, nah, bro, look, we equaled it. Now, I don't know, because this would technically be the entry here, look. That would be it, bro. Look at that, bro. Even got a decent RR at these highs, but my main draw here, super good. I guess the only thing you could say is like wait for a 5 minute break of structure and then enter based on that. But I'd rather just wait, bro. Because ES gave an actual. I mean, actually, we did make an SMT off of this fair value gap. SMT hit. If NQ wants to keep pushing, I can see that as a bullish confluence. Fucking hell. So for me, I'm now looking. I could enter this. So, because we got ES that filled the fair value gap, right? So there was an SMT based on that. It's something I missed, honestly, and that's my own fault. But fuck, bro, that's just. I'll just have to wait and see if it comes to my entry. I'm not chasing price, bro. Because we have a 5-minute fair value gap here, so we might retrace to that. Right, well that's something I missed, and that's totally my fault. But fuck. Honestly, we'll just have to see if price comes down. I mean, I can always set. I don't even know how to set a limit on it. I'm not gonna lie. So we just have to wait. Damn, bro. Today could be a bad day. Not in the sense that, like, I just missed something so simple and it made me so stupid. And, like, this is probably gonna print. Like I said, we'll wait. Honestly, I'm just gonna stop recording. If we come back down and I can get an entry, well, if it starts coming back down, I will look. But if it can, there's no point in me just recording it, continue going up just for the video longevity, for the sake of that. So we'll see. Okay, so I am like locked in, bro. We're moving back down to my entry. So I might set a limit order on my FTMO account, and then we also have this 5-minute fair value gap. So yeah, man, we'll just have to see. Bro, I can only do what I can do. Like I fucked up, you know. It's my fault. I mean, look at this. ES push down. I'm not. The thing is, I should be in this trade. If I just fucking saw that ES filled the gap and made the SMT, because it's such a bearish confluence for us. Sorry, bullish confluence for us. But yeah, I'm just gonna set the. Because look, we have this 5-minute. Oh, see, we're already in a 5-minute fair value gap now. So dumb, bro. Fuck's sake. That's such an annoying. That's the annoying thing, look, because we had this big fair value gap here, and that's the one I was like, oh yeah, let's wait for that. But we've just got the positive confluence off that. So now the thing is, it's like, how do I go off this now? Because the thing is, I feel like if I trade, even though I won't be, if I take a trade here and put it under there, more than likely I'm just going to get stopped, because that's just how trading works. I mean, and I just don't want to do that, you know. Because the thing is, the whole point is that my stop loss, etc., it's set up to be underneath these lows, the SMT. I can't do this. Like, look at that. I can't do that, bro. What is the point in that as a trade? There's no point, because look, I'm just going for this 2-300 now. This would have been my break-even point. Look, and even that's a 1 to 5. So that's originally. So if I enter now, I'm not even going to hit that 1 to 5 until I hit full take profit, and that's just not happening, bro. I'm sorry, I refuse to trade that. We got close to my entry, but I'm just gonna wait. I'll just wait. So some good news is that it came back down. Well, my entry was literally just beneath this wick, and I was focused on my MT5, but I managed to get an entry. So it's a 1 to 2.6 rather than a 1 to 3 or whatever. But now I'm kind of a bit. I mean, look, I don't know if you can see this, but look. I don't know if that will show. Look how close I was on, and I did the same number across all my accounts. I wanted to make sure if I was gonna get entered, it was on all of them. So look, I'm just gonna keep it like that, because price may come back down. I'm really not chasing price. I'm not into this. I'm not into it. ES is pushing down more. It looks like we might get another SMT. Look, if price leaves and I don't get the entry on FTMO, it's whatever, but it'd be disappointing. So look, because that was my entry. Look, see how we wicked down, and then I was like, okay, cool. But yeah, so it is what it is, bro. Wait, can I just take the magnet off and just stop loss and everything is exactly the same. We've not changed that. Look, just down here, risk 1%. Like I said, I was happy with the setup, and then I just targeted that 2,300. Now as soon as we hit, if I can mark that out, there we go. That's my break-even point, right? So, I mean, bro, we might not. We're about to break structure back on the upside. I refuse to chase price, bro. It's just something I've done before, and as painful as it is not having a trade entry, like, look, I was good enough to kind of catch it. Like I said, I don't mind. Instead of it being a 1 to 3.3, it being, because I have to stop at 1 to 3 RR anyway, just for consistency rule on top step. But this would just get me to where I need to be anyway, with only a small win needed. So it's just like, bro, because look, right? Look on this. So we hit that fair value gap, right? So I'm not even joking. I'll just change to the different chart because I don't need that here. So my entry, if I look at the 5 minute, if we have a look at this, my entry was here, right, on FTMO. That's where my limit order was set. So look, we wicked right through it on the futures chart. Now on my FTMO chart, we didn't. We just wicked above it, like where that white line is now. That's where we got to, and so technically, the trade is valid now because we've already, the NQ data, the futures data is going to be much more accurate. So we've already hit. So now I'm probably not going to see that entry because of that. I mean, I probably should have just watched this and entered manually. I was thinking that. I'm never setting limit orders again. I probably won't do that again. So I can delete these. I'm deleting them. There's no point of having them. We've already come into that fair value gap, so. But there you go. So that's the order invalidated, and that's these accounts. Like I said, I'm so confident in this setup and that it's just gonna print. But yeah, bro, that's so disappointing. Like, I could easily get an entry. Do you know when I said about the fair value gap entries where you literally here, look, bottom of the candle, and just trade it like that? You could easily do that, but it's not my style, bro. Sorry. If it wants to come down and I can get an entry, then yeah, I'll do it. But okay, it's pushing down. Might be able to get an entry here. Okay, I got an entry on my FTMO. And then, what song is this? So if I reduce that in half, I just want to make sure I set up a take profit and oh god, I don't think I'm getting that. Okay, I got some entries. Now I just need to make sure I'm on the. So let's do take profit at 940. So take profit at 940. Let's do take profit at. So it's not quite 1% risk on my 70k that's in drawdown, and it's not quite. I think it's just over 1% risk on the live 10k because I ended up getting a higher entry. And then it's about in the middle on my 70k. But there we go. So let me just check where this high is. 23,045, 222. So we're $78 off. So 45 had 78, 23, 123 for the take profit. Holy fuck, bro. Come on, bro. So here we go. This isn't I'd class this as an A setup. Or could it be A plus? I think this would count as an A setup at least, because we still got SMTs. I think what would make it A plus is if we kept that initial SMT. But yeah, we're well within our time limit, so I'm not super fussed. So we'll just have to say I've done the risk. I'm just locked in on this on these profit points and stuff, so you have to bear with me. I'm just trying to compare this comparatively. Yeah, that looks about right. Yeah, so it's about a 1 to 2.5, 1 to 3, depending on which account I took it on, you know. Okay, now that we've got that stress over, because I almost didn't get entries. Now, like I said, I could lose this trade, but that's what I'm happy with the setup. So, That's the other thing. I don't know. FTMO have a minimum trading days of like 5 days, and I might pass on this day, and I don't know. I should have done a small lot size yesterday. Anyway, if FTMO will load. FTMO app isn't loading. Why is that? Okay. Just have to go to the website. Like I said, we've got 2 more days of good price action really, so we've got PPI tomorrow, and then like unemployment claims on Thursday, so there's still 2 good trading days left. We'll just have to see how this trade plays out. Coming down a bit more now. Like I said, we've got... What has happened to FTMO, bro? Has something happened that I'm unaware of? Because it's struggling to sign in. It's like saying page not found. Imagine they've like shut down or something. Can't imagine that because they're like the top prop firm around. Bro, it is literally not loaded. Nah, no way. Something happened to FTMO that I literally don't like. I literally just trade and do my thing. Bro, let me just search up FTMO on the internet, make sure it's not a... Client area. Bro, I don't know what's happening. But anyway, let's go over this trade so we can have a good journal on it. Do you know what? I'm going to stop recording and start recording again so I can have this as a one whole clip on its own. Okay, so we had, right, let's go to the... So we had low sweats, we had an hourly fair value gap filled, and then we actually broke structure on the downside on ES, and we're still pushing down further now. We might want to come out and take these lows out, which I can mark out now. But overall bullish. Everything was bullish. 1 hour, 4 hour daily. We're in internal liquidity, so that means we're in the middle of a 4 hour uptrend. So we've pulled back in the middle of it, and as we can see, NQ has, look, we're successfully not filled that fair value gap in. We've respected the 1 hour fair value gap. We refused to break structure on the 1 hour, on the 30 minute, which was great. Same with the 15 minute. We've come back up. We've had a 5 minute break structure now, but my entry model was, we had 1 minute breaker structure. Oh look, that was our initial fair value gap, which we came down into and respected. So we've had 1 minute breaker structure. I was waiting for this fair value gap. Now the actual entry that I did was this here. So we had a 1 minute fair value gap fill on ES at the same time. So this is the same fair value gap presented on ES. Fair value gap fill, reaction continuation up. On NQ it didn't, which shows more bullish sentiment in NQ because it didn't fill the gap, it wanted to move up, which shows a lot more bullish sentiment. So I'm totally happy about this. We're currently getting, looks like maybe more SMTs, but this is why my stop loss is below the SMT lows, because that is what I'm basing my trade off. When I said I could just, because look, I could have just entered. I mean, we can still lose this trade, obviously, but when we had this fair value gap fill reaction, I could have entered and put my stop loss here, and then I would have been completely mad and deranged that I would have wanted this whole move to come down purposely to invalidate the whole thing and go, oh, at least my bias was wrong. Because, like I said, I would rather trade a full setup that works within my bias, works within my rules, and I lose it. But I stayed within bias. But then we also got a 5-minute break of structure, and then I waited for the retrace down where I could then get an entry from my initial entry point because I missed it. Like I said, I wasn't going to chase price, and I stand by that. And we've even got a breaker block. Is this a breaker block? If you wanted to enter off that, I don't know, bro. So anyway, that is what we're looking at. And is that an SMT I see? Looks like we have another SMT on the line. Yes, there hasn't. NQ has swept. So yeah, I'm totally not worried about this trade. If we lose it, cool. We followed our rules. I did get a little annoyed and impatient, I'll admit that, but I didn't just blindly enter. I didn't force an entry. I waited for price to come back to where I wanted my entry to be, and that's what's important. So now we just have to wait for whatever price wants to do. I'm probably going to stop recording because I don't need to record the whole trade play out. Like I said, we can win them all, but we can only enter off what structure tells us. Like I said, this was an A setup. The only thing that would have made it A plus is if the initial SMT that we made when NQ came and swept would be that you know, that just withheld initially, and we got the break structure fair value gap fill entry, because it did it quite a few times. But again, we waited. There was no rush, and it was within our time frame. We didn't rush an entry. So yeah, because we kind of kept coming lower. We kind of swept initially, came back up, then swept again, came back up, then swept again, came back up, and now we're sweeping again. And that's what I mean. If we just initially swept here at 440 and 245, and then on the 1 minute we started coming back up, which we did, and then we continued that would have been A plus, but it didn't, so we just have to wait. So yeah, we're in a bit of drawdown. No sweat. Like I said, so I risked 1% on this account, and then I risked 2% on the 70k. That's in 6% profit. Now, if we lose this trade, I'll go back to risking 1% until I win. So if I win a trade, I'll then risk 2% again. If I lose again, I'll keep risking 1%, and then if I get into drawdown, I'll risk 0.5%, but I don't see that happening. Same with the other accounts that are in drawdown. One's in they're both in about 4% drawdown. Both of those will be 1% risk each, just flat now, because I have quite a big 6-7% buffer now. So I'm not too worried. Like I said, I'm confident in the win rate of this strategy. So I'm really not worried about losing 1% even in drawdown. If say for instance, I know we're in trailing drawdown on the top step, so I'm just, I'm kind of just hopeful that within the near future I'm not on some huge loss streaks sticking to my system, because obviously all systems have loss streaks, but I'm just hoping I can pass that and then start building a buffer funded. But again, no stress. Has ES took out more lows? Yes, it has. So another SMT here, but it's not looking the best. Look at this hourly move, bro. The whole point would be that this came out and then the hourly move would maybe do half a move, and then we start moving it more. But there's no breaker structure, so I'm still confident. Look, we're moving internal to external. I'm not at all worried. I'm not worried by 1 minute noise where 1 minute's trade coming down. Who cares, bro? We did inverse this 1 minute gap, which technically is our last line of defense, but again, who cares? I stuck to my system. I I didn't manage to enter when price told me to, so I waited it to retrace to my entry because the setup was still valid. It hasn't really been invalidated. I mean, yeah, we have 1 minute breaker structures, but we have 5 minute breaker structure now, so a 5 minute is stronger. Now we have just inversed the gap on the 5 minute. I don't see this. Like I said, we're still building SMTs on ES. There's still an SMT in control A, and I think we have these lows, and then I'm gonna mark out Asia lows now. But I feel like if market wants to take out Asia lows, we're gonna go trending bearish again. I just don't see. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? But yeah, no pressure and no worries. Thank you. Let's have a look. Chilling, bro. Now we just wait. We're not gonna. We have a stop loss in place for a reason, because when people say like protect your losses, I would definitely agree. Like, say we broke down 5 minute structure, maybe I would, but it depends. If we broke 5 minute structure here, I'm just gonna let it run to stop loss, because we've got to be confident in the setup, and I am. So just gotta wait, dude. Oh, here we go. So I'm just looking at my challenges, right? Because I need to see if I have. I was just waiting for my FTMO to load up, because I need to see if there's a minimum trading days. So it's just giving me, buddy, it's taking ages to load, bro. The app offer, no, I don't want that. Max daily loss. That's insane. I find it so insane that you can do 5% max daily loss on FTMO, and that's how most people lose. How do you manage that? Especially when there's between 3 and 5 minimum trading days. How do you? Why do people trade 5% in a day to lose the account as if they're trying to pass when you physically can't? Okay, minimum trading days 4. Do you know, I'm gonna. So we got stopped out. I was trying to record it before I was stopped out and couldn't get the recording. It just kept messing up. So what happened was here. So we've got stopped out, but ES has come out and took out these hourly lows, and it looks like it's going to target Asia lows. Now I'm looking at my MetaTrader 5 because I'm still in on my other accounts. The stop loss was a lot. Well, I say a lot tighter, but like the stop loss on NQ was like right at the lows, because that I just pressed buy, and the 1% risk just automatically set it to there. So I was like, I'll just leave it. I don't want to increase risk or anything, so I just kind of left it there. And I'm just watching MetaTrader 5 now. I'm about to get stopped out. I've got the same stop loss across all the accounts, so it should only stop me out when it stops me out. Come on, bro, stop me out. I want to journal this and kind of get it over. It literally edged my stop loss, bro. Like fucking down to the. I'm like literally 1 pip off stop loss. Okay, right, there we go. I'm stopped. So there you go. So that was about my stop loss on here. There we go. So that was my stop loss on like my FTMO. It just happened that way. I didn't even end up risking 1% on some of them, or like the total risk, it was like 0.2 or 0.1% out. So there we go. It looks like ES wants to push down further. Like I said, look, we're targeting Asia lows now, which I really did not expect. I'm not gonna lie. Now, things we can look for, like I said, the 4 hour is still bullish across these. Now, Top Step doesn't want to load, bro. This platform, I think, has to be the worst platform I've used out of everything. MetaTrader 5's always been reliable, but maybe it's spreads, but that's just down to the brokerage and what you're using. But TradingView was perfect. Bro, why does it not want to load? Here we go. So, for our look, we are still bullish on everything. So, again, I was definitely right. Look, when I was still bullish, looks like we might break structure now on NQ. And we came in and filled this hourly fair value gap as well. But then it's these lows here that ES has just taken out, and it's running for Asia lows now. Even if we had a setup after this, I wouldn't be able to take it because it's the 4 p.m. So yeah, things did good today. I waited for my entry. I know I got a little bit annoyed, but again, I didn't let it sway my decision making. I just said I'm going to wait for price to come down, which it did, and I entered. Price never really went against it. We inverse this 5. Let's delete that. We inverse this 5-minute gap, which yeah, you can count as a break of structure, definitely. But again, it's not like I'm going to come down here and it comes back up and I'm going to go, oh, I'm going to close now because we're at break even. It doesn't work like that. We have a stop loss in place for a reason, because that's where it invalidates our full setup. So yeah, I'm going to figure out how much I lost on each account and stuff, and then I can come back to it. So I'll be able to figure out how much I lost on the day. I mean, we made like $12,000 on last week's setup. Obviously, I'm gonna have lost less across my accounts. Let's just make sure I am stopped out of them all. Yeah, I am. No sweat, bro. I've literally not even lost that much. I only had a bit of a bigger loss on the FTMO account, just because I had the bigger risk. But again, I had the bigger win last week. I made 6% because I had the 2% risk, and I only lost 2%. So I'm still, how much does it say I'm up? Yeah, I'm still 4% up, so can't complain. And the other accounts are still not even in 5% drawdown, so again, can't complain. We're still doing good, we're still doing great. Just keep this energy up. Tomorrow is a new day, so we're not going to carry losses, we're not going to do anything like that. But yeah, so things I did well. I stuck to my entry model, I stuck to my entry plan, and when I didn't get my initial entry, I adjusted and waited price to come to me. Things that we may not have seen, we swept highs here, but we didn't on ES, so we had a pretty decent SMT based on that. But again, why would you trade that? It's going against, there's not even any 1 minute setups here, because there's no 1 minute break of structure, because look, we took out the highs, came straight down, there's no fair value gaps, there's no entry. The only entry that is actually valid here is this 5 minute inverse entry and the fair value gap entry, along with order block entry. But again, so I would wait for the 5 minute to close below, there we go, and this would be the setup. There you go, that would be your setup. Oh sorry, no, we'd be looking on ES for the setup, because it was the lagging one, my bad. So maybe we did get entries, but again, you'd have to wait till macro. So the macro entries are right here. So again, they're shit entries. No one who's trading this, who's trading against the thing yet. Okay, let's just say we entered here based on this. Look, I'd still want the S&T high to be the stop loss. And look at that, even if we target Asia low, 1-to-1 risk, bro. Anyway, that's what I missed, but I really don't care because, okay, just tagged Asia low. So we're about a full port longs right now. But yeah, bro, I'm happy with my decision, bro. I have no resentment or anger towards this because we made the right decision. Look, there's not in a million years would I ever go short on this. So I made the right decision. I'm not stressed. Tomorrow's a new day. We've got PPI. We've also got Thursday's trade. I also have Friday morning gold to trade, and I'll be able to fully record that because I'm not working until the afternoon. So I'll be able to record the full morning, which is great. But yeah, bro, why? There's no point stressing over this. Look, it's just a trade, bro. Still in profit. Nothing to worry about. So I'm okay. So yeah, I don't think there's much more to talk about on this. Let's make sure my mic's on. It is, because yesterday I had 18 minutes. That was unaccounted for because I didn't unmute my mic. So yeah, I'm really chilling with this. I stuck to my bias. Like I said, I think the only flaw today was that I got a little bit annoyed when I missed my entry, but even then, I stuck to my rules and I waited for my entry to get hit. So I can't complain. We got my entry. We didn't win. Can't win every single trade. So for me, I don't mind losing because I know that the good setups in future, the A plus setups in future, they're going to be the ones that are going to be winning because I have to lose at some point. So if I lose now, I can look forward to winning later on. So, yeah, losing trades are always good. We can learn from them. Now, we did break structure on yes, but we also had that, I'm pretty sure, on one of the live tests, or maybe even my trade on Thursday. I'm pretty sure one of them, I'm pretty sure NQ broke structure to the downside on like the hourly and even the 4 hour. So I'm not gonna like it's good. This is still good for data collection because I can still compare that against that trade because I remember it happening. I'm just trying to figure where. I don't know. But anyway, I think it was this one. If we look here, we like break structure. Did it NQ like not? I don't know. I don't remember. When was it? Oh, it was last week. So it was somewhere around here. Was it like this big candle displacement? Yes. Yes, it was. Maybe. Oh no, because that didn't break structure, so... so it was this one. So this big candle displacement you see here. So we break structure down, right? Yes, didn't, and then we got that move up, and then I took that trade. That's what made me the 6% on my first trade. So yeah, like I said, and even on the 4 hour, that broke structure to the downside. So like that had a stronger confluence for bearish structure, but ES still powered through it and then came up. So yeah, I'm not necessarily worried about that for now, but we did come out and take out Asia lows. It's such a big move to come down. Look at that. 2 full sessions worth done in 2 hours. So NQ has broke structure to the downside. But then look at this. We're probably going to get bullish setups now. Because look. There we go. We'll probably now come up. I'll get stopped out and then I'll probably hit TP in PM session. So we'll keep this up. Just because it's always worth keeping up, and then I can keep track of it. I can have a look later if we fully come back up in reverse and it was just an unfortunate entry model for the day, and price just wanted to move down and take out those Asia lows before we do come back up, because like Asia lows are down here and then them other hourly lows, and we've not even took any out, so it's a great SMT model here. But again, I've run out of my time anyway. I mean, technically I would have given myself the leeway because it's 4 o'clock and an entry is forming here, but no, I'm happy with what I took. So there's nothing to be worried about there. And yeah, we'll just keep it up and see if it fully reverses and hits our take profit. I'll probably go over this tomorrow before I chart out. Oh, let's look at this gold trade. I took a gold trade. I put it on a live test here. Look, it was like literally, it was the 5-minute break of structure on the New York Forex session, and we just broke structure on market open. But yeah, look, it was a losing trade. So yeah, it was a 1 to 2.6. Could we have took anything today? Doesn't look like it. We took out highs late in London, which would have been, I only look until about 10 o'clock, so yeah, we could have traded that. Technically speaking, it is a valid entry model, but not a valid entry time for us. That would be the model, that would be the entry, and then we would have targeted Asia lows, which are about right here. There you go, 1 to 5 risk reward. Look at that. When I hit one of these trades, it's going to be very rewarding. So yeah, that's about all I have to say for that. But even then, look, because it's so, like, you end up being, when you get into the trade, you're only in it for like half an hour, and then you're really close to New York session, and you're like, we could just come and sweep us back up. Obviously it didn't, but that's the risk you run, where if you take it within the first couple hours of London, you've still got, like, if you took it here and price started to move down, it could keep moving down, where it's going to be too much for New York session to really push and take those highs out again. So anyway, that could have worked on today's that would have been a London session model, and if it was earlier I would have took that, but there we go. Not seeing anything on here. 1 minute breaker structure. What about ES? Yeah, nothing really. But anyway, that's it for the day. I will be back tomorrow for another trade, and we'll just keep working, just keep doing it. Gotta keep going, man. Can't take the gotta be happy about a loss, because we're always due one. I'd rather, it's happened now, so I can, it's, the more and more I look, as long as I keep sticking to the system, when I have a loss, the less and less likely I will have another one, as long as I keep sticking to my system, and that's what I'm going to do. So yeah, I'll catch this journal tomorrow. Peace out.